And tonight we are playing the Demonplague, set in the world of the Spire. But before I let my lovely gang of players introduce themselves, please take a look in the doobly-doo down below for our extra life link and a link to the Heroes Wanted collective of shows and our Discord and our sister shows. They're really cool. Please check them out. But without further ado, tonight I am joined by...
Hi, I'm Ian. I'll be playing Kevin Hillman, the drunken monk, courtier, and now incarcerated felon.
And hello, I'm Lorne. I'm playing Tafina Boondiggles, the beastless forest gnome beastmaster ranger.
I'm sorry. Hi, everyone. I'm Tara. I am playing Hecate, the elder and cleric of the grave.
And I'm Patrick. I am playing Arkady Renko, a ghostwise halfling inquisitive rogue.
Thank you all for joining me this evening. Last time we left our heroes have successfully wiped out the Ziggurat and realized that their main foe, Ralakai, was in yet another dungeon in the burrows further off. However, they decided to go back to town to resupply and check in on the prisoners they had freed there. While there, they got embroiled in local politics. There is a village meeting coming up where the big discussion will be who among the refugees should get citizenship, or if the refugees should get citizenship at all, and for any potential candidates to announce their candidacy for mayor and the village council. However, while passing out rations and other and food to one of the refugee camps, there happened to be a murder.
Most foul?
Most foul. You guys respond to the scene, and it appears the market murderer has struck again, because this time the person's heart was ripped out of their chest. A young girl supposedly saw the scene, and when Kevin arrived, she pointed out Kevin as the culprit. You all were able to sort of calm the situation down, but Kevin was taken into custody and given to the military. Upon arrival, you explained to the captain that there's no way it could be Kevin, because Kevin can alter his face, so why would he kill as his main face? Meanwhile, the young girl was taken into the local church. You currently see yourselves where you last left off. Where do you go from here?
Can you put up the map of the town?
That's what I was doing. And it's more like your villain is in another dungeon.
And I'm in jail?
You're in jail. You're technically still in the office of the Lord of Captain Huberg.
Alright, so I guess I get left behind?
Technically the scene ended with you, Arcady, and I think Tafina? Or Hecate?
I went back to the church, I thought.
Hecate is there, yes. And Hecate in the office talking to Huberg, so if you want to take it off from there, you can take it away.
So what do we do now?
Well, I think if you want to help out with this investigation, you will have to use your natural form, my child.
But I could do this, and I will turn into Greypaw, or my face will turn into Greypaw's face.
That's actually what we were thinking. That maybe Kevin could take on the form of somebody else while we tried to figure this out.
You would would know that Greypaw is currently working with the druidess that sent him on the zombie rat expedition. And he's currently still in town.
Okay, then the guy that from the very beginning that I was working for that hooked me up with Arcady.
Stanislaw Severin?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Shit. That actually might screw me over. Let's do it.
Do you have to have known the form that you're trying to assume, or?
I can't remember with this guy's self.
Well, if you're trying to mimic a form, you probably had to have seen it before.
I'm not trying to mimic. I was just thinking of people that I could remember that I've seen. Okay, one of the people we've killed some guards here and there, right? And some mercenaries. So I'll do that, I suppose. I'm just pulling up the spell right now.
And
I think
I'll
its
let
alter
Hecate.
self can be almost any person.
Mhm.
Oh, I can seem taller, shorter, thin, fat, in between. I can change my body type. Still has to have my limbs, blah blah blah. Oh, it's up to me what I look like, so I will make a random face.
Cool. So we're doing the zone of truth, right?
Well, we
That's
did
what we
that,
discussed last
and yeah, we discussed that, and because Kevin was not in the region when the market murders were taking place, it's pretty much exonerated him already.
Well, he wasn't with us, right? Like nobody really knows where he was. To be fair,
I was handing out candy.
yes, but
No. I mean, like previous, like the market murderer in the town here in the region.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
but
He
he's
wasn't here. He was still working in the capital. Yes, he wasn't in Safe Harbor when the other market murders took place.
yeah. No,
So
no,
I
I get.
remember. I mean, Captain Huberg believes him because of that. But
Yeah, but
yeah.
like he's still on the hook for this murder. So I really don't think the officials are going to let us disguise him and run around with him until we like exonerate him in the eyes of the officials, at least. You know, then pretend that like so. Here's what I'm thinking. So we leave it for tonight. Leave Kevin locked up. We go and Hecate will prepare Zone of Truth. Come back tomorrow with the officials. Cast it on Kevin. So at the very least, the officials will have more of an assurance that Kevin is not the one we're looking for. Then Kevin can do his disguise, alter self into whatever persona he needs, and then we all leave. And then the officials keep up the ruse that Kevin is in prison while we're investigating.
All right. So that sounds good. Is Huberg that's the captain, right?
Yeah, the one on the right on the screen.
Well, that sounds like a good plan, but there's one thing I can do.
What is it?
Clean up your desk, sir. And I'll start filing.
Oh, what? Is there a role for bureaucracy? Role for organization?
That would be
New skill check.
insight to figure out what his insight to know that his filing system is whichever's on top is most important, and I guess a wisdom check to put it into the proper. No,
You just do an insight to be like this. This is the filing system that works for you.
Insight is wisdom based, by the way.
Oh yeah, it is. That's true.
So what? Do you get a bonus to wisdom?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, that's it. That's it. Okay. Yeah, 14. You actually do a decent job. It's not life changing or anything, but he is a little impressed. He's like,
And over here is the health and safety board. You'll see that we have the accidents and the health and safety accident forms.
Now, Captain, have there been any other murders like this in the village itself?
Not with the heart ripped out, no. I just thought it was, Maybe Basil had just decided to do something different. I don't know. There's already enough tension in town. If we don't need to go riling up the refugees and the locals again.
How many people came here from Safe Harbor?
From Safe Harbor? Oh, I'd say at least 200 from Safe Harbor. And then 150 each from Sweetwater and Hamlet. And that's not counting the Order of the Last Bastion Knights. I think they have a good 25 strong. Oh, and there's at least a few dozen noble families as well. So, like, the noble families is 19. The Safe Harbor is the little is the little smaller camp next to it. And 18 and 17 are Helmet and Sweetwater on the map. Big map.
We don't have the map yet.
Yeah, you haven't shared that.
Oh. I thought I was sharing it the whole time. I'm sorry, guys. Did you get it?
Yep.
Yes.
It should actually show if we have it up or not. Well, not if you have it maximized.
Yeah, that's the problem with this one. The town
Is there anyone in town who's been troublesome? Anyone that you would be suspicious of offhand?
Not really, no. The whole town's been troublesome. Everyone's on edge, everyone's blaming each other. Although, thank God for your food provisions, but everyone's still worried about food. Winter is coming, even though it doesn't seem like it with this blasted heat.
Well, to be fair, I'm only going to be leading this investigation in here. I'm going to have to generally recuse myself in town, as it is my colleague who is being charged and who is under suspicion. So, Hecate, I would hope you would be able to lead everything once we are outside of the confines of this office.
Hecate is still spring because we have a long rest rest. So she's like, oh, of course, totally.
I think if we can take a look at the body and the murder site again, I guess that's the best place to start. Or the young lady witness, or if you wish to wait till tomorrow and Zone of Truth the child as well at the same time as Kevin.
All my equipment for taking samples is in the back of the wagon.
Well, we should definitely get to the crime scene tonight. The longer we wait, the more evidence will disappear. And then I can prepare more than one Zone of Truth for tomorrow. So worst case is, I think we think it would be pretty traumatic to bring the child into the same room as that of the suspected killer. But we can easily cast two different things. Come here, do it on Kevin, then go to the girl and cast it on her as well.
And with that, I'm going to say Genius will pipe up and say, well, hold on a minute there. I don't mind that you're using Zone of Truth on the suspected killer, even though it cannot be put forth in court. Seeing as apparently he was away at the time. He wasn't in Safe Harbor at the time. However, I don't like this idea of mind magic on a young girl. Hannah's only 15 and she is an orphan. She lost her brother and her mother and father.
So I totally understand we totally understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, we need to know 100% if she's telling the truth or not. For all we know, she could have been under the influence of someone or something. And as much as this girl has gone through, are you truly willing to hang the fate of a man who quite possibly might be innocent on her?
I'm sure the law will work. As long as your superiors bring proof that Kevin was not in safe harbor before the incident. It sounds like he was in the Capitol. I should be able to use that to calm everyone down.
And again, we put forth to you, side question, the other dude that went wacky, he was kind of controlling people or no?
He was controlling that little fox puppet.
Okay. Well, Heke is still going to put forth, and again, we put forth to you, what if something is influencing her? What if something is controlling her? We have seen possible evidence of that. That's what happened with, I forget his name right now. Basil, thank you. We believe that's what happened to Basil. He came into contact with something that essentially drove him mad. Would you not want us to go through this process with the girl to make sure that she is safe, not only for herself, but for those of this village? We've already seen one example of it. Do you really want to risk any more?
Exactly. We've already seen one example of it. That Basil, apparently, by your own admission, did some sort of magical stuff, came in contact with something, and went crazy. And now this is the Divine's magic. I know that it's different somehow. I'm sure Henna was just mistaken, and it's just someone that looked like our dear fellow here. I just don't... Henna's had so much tragedy in her young life. She lost her... She and her brother got trapped underneath a glacier. Her poor brother died. Then, she finally comes home, and a few months later, this whole comet happens, and she loses the rest of her family. She literally has no one left in the world. And I doubt she's the killer. I mean, look at her. She's 90 pounds soaking wet.
I doubt she's the killer, but she could be the key to finding the killer. And what harm do you believe she would come to under the spell? I will roll persuasion if I have to. I have advantage still. I'm basically trying to tell him, dude, I get where you're coming from, but to make 100% sure we're crossing all of our T's and dotting all our I's to make sure we got the right SOB that did this, we need to cast Zone of Truth on the girl just to make sure everything is 100% on the up and up. That's basically what Heke's trying to say.
Heke cast guilt. It's super effective.
And he'll say... How does this Zone of Truth spell work exactly? I know it's not permissible in court because only you truly know the answer within your mind. That is how the spell works, and then it's up to you to tell the truth. Now, being a matron of the church, you do have my trust. But how does it exactly work? Is it going to give you a picture of what she saw in your mind?
No, we will hear
yes or no responses.
We will, let me read it. All Zone of Truth does is it gives us an area where no lie can be told. She doesn't have to tell us the truth. She doesn't have to answer. But when she does speak, she cannot speak a lie. That's all the spell does.
Can I insight check him? Does he seem nervous about this, or does he seem genuine in his concern?
Roll me an insight check.
Ugh, that's a 15.
He seems very... That's high enough. He seems very genuine in his concern for Henna. Like, you just heard, like, she has a very sad story. She's only, like, 15, 16. Lost her whole family. You also got the sense when...
Yes, boo-hoo-hoo, it's very tragic. Children have terrible things happen all the time.
Well, you just went straight Russian there.
And Heke completely understands this, but she's thinking of the greater good of the village. Basically, like, how many more people need to die before we catch this guy?
And he's also just also a little concerned about people using magic in general. He's just, he's a...
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Gotta save me. Gotta save me from these fools. That's me. That's not Hecate.
But he'll turn to you and say, well, what if someone truly believes in what they're saying, even if it's wrong?
If that is their truth, then that is their truth. All that happens within the zone is no lie can be deliberately told. I'm fudging that a little bit, of course, but
Okay. Well, then, you might shoot your own self in the foot. I truly believe that Henna thinks she saw this man commit the attack.
Indeed, and if she says this in the zone of truth, then it really lets us know that what we're looking for is some kind of shapeshifter.
Hecate just kind of throws up her hands and walks away at this point.
I'm gonna tug on my collar at shapeshifter. Oh.
And he'll say, what I'm saying is, if you, a matron of the church, cast Zone of Truth on Henna, and Henna says, I saw that man there as the killer, how do you think the refugees are going to behave?
One, we wouldn't do this in public. Two, that wouldn't be the only question we'd be asking. My concern is, what else did she see going on? And Hecate's getting upset right now. Like, she's slowly morphing into Summer at this point. She's getting so pissed. That's not the only question that's going to be asked. Like, Hecate truly believes that the girl saw what she saw. What Hecate is more concerned with is what she saw around that. Did somebody come up to her? Did somebody try and influence her, cast a spell on her? Blah, 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 blah. That's basically what Hecate is trying to cross off the list here, is if there is an outside influence working on the girl.
I will also mentally say to her that we don't need his approval to do this.
Hecate knows this, but she's gonna
Or
do
maybe
it.
you do. Who is her legal guardian, Arcady?
15? Who says you need a legal guardian?
I'll go Epstein.
Yeah, no, Hecate's starting to get, this is basically going to be Hecate's last argument. She's starting to get pissed off. And she's also of the mind where, whether you agree or not, it's going to happen. But she's going to try and convince him to, be at least maybe not happily accepting of it, but to at the very least allow it. Because then, God forbid, we go to the church, we start doing it, and he walks in on us. How much trouble are we going to be in?
I'll make some chamomile tea. That'll help calm everything down.
But yeah, that's basically Hecate's last argument, is just she completely believes that the girl saw what she saw. Her concern is if there's some outside influence trying to act through the girl.
All right, you can roll your persuasion.
Okay. Because all this stuff with demons and stuff going on, she needs to make sure that ain't happening. Oh, hells.
He sits there and he thinks about it for a while, and him and Niblin, who's the leader of the who's also a leader of the refugees, sort of discuss this amongst themselves, and they will say, all right, in the privacy of the church, with Isperol attending as well, and ourselves attending, you may to perform some questioning on the girl.
Esperol was never a question. She was always going to be there.
Okay. However, we would prefer you to at least not whip out Zone of Truth right away. I'm sure you can come to... I want you to do some regular questioning of her first, and if things don't add up, you can perform your magic. Is that a deal?
Heck, I really wants to just deck this guy. That's going to waste so much time. More people could die, but fine, she'll agree to it.
All right, and you'll all shake on it. I'm sure you'll have that documentation from in our hands shortly.
I was unaware you had any legal standing in this community, sir. Do not order me to do anything. Do you understand me?
I'm not ordering
You are here as a favor,
I am
as
not
part of this
ordering you.
investigation.
I'm not ordering you to do anything. I
You just
like
demanded
you.
documentation to be in your hands.
I'm
Your
saying
hands are not legal hands.
I'm not
Do you
saying
understand me?
did I say my hands? I didn't say my hands.
Yes, you did.
I meant the town's hands.
You do not speak for the town either, sir. You are not the mayor. You are not the leader of the town. I understand your responsibility to the people you look after. But no, you are not in charge here.
Kevin's eyes are like saucers.
He gives
We
you
respectfully are doing this investigation, but you are not who we answer to in any way, shape, or form. You know Kevin did not do this. You know there is a murderer still out there preying on your people. Stop standing in our way if you care for them.
he will give you a cold, hard look, or as if this was a telltale game, it would be like, Genius will remember that. And they will gruffly walk out.
I brook no quarter with the laws. The laws stand. It is unfortunate if people get hurt when we look after the laws, but we have to do it.
Huberg will go, you could have been a little nicer to them.
Nope, Heke
Yes,
will
I could have.
Heke will completely back Arcadia up, and she'll be like, if he truly cared about this town, he wouldn't have been, and she'll be use some choice expletives, and trying to block us from making sure we could do everything in our power to make sure this person is brought to justice.
They are quite key. They are the leaders of two rather large refugee communities. But could those two combined outweigh the ones from Safe Harbor? Just tread carefully, especially if you're getting involved in local politics.
Frankly, we're not that interested in local politics. We have championed everyone to get voting rights, but who we are really after is somewhere out in the boroughs right now. This is a waste of our time.
Boroughs? What boroughs?
The wizard or person that we believe has far more information about this plague that is happening and about the meteor apparently is somewhere out in the boroughs. Did we locate a map of this, or were we just given description?
You have a rough map of it, and also the Theron Shortcloak can also lead you to the boroughs and knows the safe word. And you got the location of it from the half-orc Bazeg, who didn't know the password. Yeah, Bazeg knew where the location was. He didn't know the password.
Yeah, no, the woman that is in custody knows the password. And we'll be getting that with a zone of truth tomorrow at the same time. We'll have her at least in the room with Kevin. We don't need to waste that. We need to find out who this murderer is. But make no mistake, looking after the refugees in this town is not our top priority. It is a priority, but it is not the top priority. I was sent here on a mission to protect everybody. The town politics and politics in general do not interest me.
The greater good must prevail, unfortunately, in this situation.
Booker just look at you two and say, and pour you all some of his vodka and go, well, if you say so.
It is a sad truth that the law must be upheld, even if it sometimes causes suffering, Hubert.
It's not about suffering, it's more I'd like you both to keep your heads.
Wait, is he saying that they're going to try and kill us if we cross them?
He's more saying tread carefully. The town is under a lot of stress. But also if you're making this kind of like your home base to do all this stuff, you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. Because he's also interested in keeping the peace, but he's he's lived here long enough. He's now pretty much a local. He's just telling you to watch your backs and just be careful in general. This may be a small town, but you're currently here right now. You can't disappear like you can in the big city.
Speaking of that, what do you know of this Alia Thernius? The mayor claimed she was his niece, but when we rescued her, she was confused by this momentarily, but quickly put on a facade.
Huh. I don't recognize the name at all. But I don't remember, like, the mayor ever talking about his family. He's a nasty old curmudgeon.
Well, she's a youngish woman, but her tongue was cut out by the people who were holding her captive. So if she's some kind of, I don't know, agent or someone who works with the mayor, she may have some insight as well as to what is going on. But something tells me we're not going to find her as easily as we might.
Well, if her tongue's been cut out, she's probably in the temple, and... ugh. Can't even imagine. But, yeah, I don't know anything about a niece, but I also don't know anything about this Aaliyah woman. It could be possible? I mean...
Is it possible for you to ask about it quietly?
You know, yeah, I can ask about it quietly among my men. Not sure how far it'll go, but... I can.
Thank you. And we'll finish our drinks and I'll look at Hecate and say, shall we investigate the murder scene?
Yes.
Or do you want to go to the temple and look at the body?
Murder scene first, because that's more... vulnerable.
Agreed.
Kind of
And I'll
investigated...
go over to the...
I'm gonna say...
Yeah, sorry, I'll just go over to...
Yeah, I'm just saying you investigated it last time and you couldn't find much at all. Because everything was so damp and muddy, there was footprints going here and there. The actual murder scene itself... there's not much there. You can go back and look at the refugee camp in general.
Question other witnesses, possibly?
You get the sense that Henna was the only witness.
Okay.
No one else came forward at the time to be like, oh yeah, I saw it too, or anything like that.
Alright, so yeah, to the temple.
Buck up, Kevin. Get a good night's sleep.
I'll do my best. His filing system's really bad. I'll be up all night with that.
Oh, Kevin.
Yes.
Create a new disguise. See if you can get in good with the prisoner that we brought back. See what you can get out of her overnight.
All right. And I have decided on what Kevin's alternate disguise is going to look like. He's going to look like a Buddy Christ from Dogma. So
Jesus.
long hair, big beard,
Exactly.
really smiley. I've got a Buddy Christ. I just bought a new Buddy Christ statue for my car, so that's why I'm thinking about him.
Can I cast Speak with Dead yet?
You'll have to check that.
But if
It's
I
at
am
level
Spell.
4.
I'll be stuck here for a little bit, so I'm going to just run up and grab a snack. I'll be back in a bit.
I'm kind of shocked you can even cast Zone of Truth. You're only level 4.
Oh, is it 2 I have a level? Level 2 enchantment.
Yeah, it's a level 2 spell.
Oh, I thought it was higher for some
Okay.
reason.
No.
Speak with Dead. Level 3. Ooh, I don't think I can cast level 3 yet.
Okay, and while you guys are heading to the church,
Damn. That would've been good.
Tafina, as you're sitting there and guarding everything, and is there anything you would like to do?
Well, do I see any wild animals I could potentially tame?
Not inside the temple.
Okay. In that case, then I'm going to be sharpening one of my swords.
Okay. You sharpen one of your swords, hanging kind of towards the back. You see Isperl try and calm down Hannah, along with the other woman, the older woman, as well. And then Hecate and Arcadia, you arrive at the temple.
Okay. We'll greet Mother Esperel and ask to see the body and ask how the child is doing.
Oh, I've calmed her down a little bit. The poor girl's basically skin and bones and just shaking.
I'll also, well, thank you. Thank you for caring for her mother. Just so you're aware, we'll be questioning her more closely tomorrow when she's had some more rest. And we will be casting a Zone of Truth on her to make sure, and she's just going to come clean with Esperel. You know, we believe that Hannah saw what she saw, but we want to make sure that our concern is outside influences, and we just want to make sure they're not working through her. So we're going to be questioning her in the morning, casting Zone of Truth, and those two nimwits are going to be joining us.
Well, okay. Although, I'm not sure how a Zone of Truth would help in the matter. You may want to save your spell slots.
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Yeah, you never know. We might be able to get something from it.
Well, alright.
Mother, can you speak with the dead?
I think she's only like a level 3 cleric. Let me see. What level is,
A
Speak
level
with
3 cleric would be able to have access to it because it's a second level spell. Oh, no.
Oh, then
it's
Hecate could do third level
it's
spell, so you need to be level 5.
Yeah, it's third level necromancy.
Sorry, I'm just flipping to the spot where I wrote down what spells she had.
Even so, if she's level 5, she can pick it up in the morning.
Are we level 5?
No, you guys
We are
all
not, but hopefully
level
she is.
4.
Dead person would probably have just seen Kevin do it anyway. Whether they saw them change first is another matter.
She can cast Cure Wounds and Lesser Restoration. Yeah, I don't think she doesn't have Speak with Dead. She basically just has Cure Wounds, Healing Word, Lesser Restoration.
Okay.
Create food and water, stuff like that.
Okay.
Wait a minute, she can create food and water, and they got a food shortage?
She can only create so much food.
Fair enough.
We lost our berry pusher.
I can pick it up when I level up if I wanted to.
I will
right.
offer the child some blood candies, and I will head over to Tafina and just ask did you have any trouble getting here? Did you see anybody that was paying too much attention to you?
I don't remember if I did. I don't think I did.
Yeah, you didn't see anything. It's basically like full of refugees and the girl and everyone else sort of talking and acting real scared about this murderer coming back.
Yeah, I just sort of, stood watch, made sure nothing happened.
Are you skilled in medicine at all?
Are you asking Tafina or Esperil?
Tafina.
Not really, no. I mean, I know how to bind some wounds, but that's about
The
it.
badger was.
What about you, Hecate, or you, Mother?
I have a little bit of not only healing magic, but I've studied a little bit of medicine. Not much though. Not like what big city folk have.
Oh yeah, I got the prayer of healing and healing word and cure wounds. I'm good.
I think.
Oh no, I meant I'm
Questions
actually talking about the medicine skill.
Oh, medicine skill. Derp. I has it. I have a +4 in it.
Excellent. Would you mind looking at the body and just seeing what you can see about how this heart was ripped out, if it was cut out, or if somebody actually put their hand into the chest?
Sure thing. Would Arcadia like to assist me?
Absolutely.
Awesome. We'll go to the body. Yeah!
Nice.
So Arcadia and I are like conferring over the body and like comparing notes and stuff.
Holy heck. Well, with the nat 20, you realize that this person had probably been drinking a little bit before they died. You can see sort of like the gin blossoms on the nose, and it is, and that, he was probably heavily intoxicated.
Okay.
You can also see that it was some sort of very sharp knife that went into the chest and actually cut quite deftly into the chest, and that's all they took. It was not near surgical, not true surgical precision, but pretty close. So you get that this has been something that's been practiced. This isn't something that a first timer would do.
Friggin' Jack the Ripper.
Basically,
okay.
Sort of like going like.
So anyone who would have done this probably would have had a lot of blood on their hands, and Kevin didn't have any blood when we found him. And also somebody with knowledge around anatomy, medicine, healing, stuff like that.
A butcher, you think?
That too, possibly.
I mean,
I'm
not there. Never mind.
Yeah.
You're not there. And Tafina, is the bar tent the only alcohol distributor here?
You also met the dwarf woman. But she was but she brewed beer. You can smell that this is vodka, or some other similar moonshiny hard alcohol coming off this fellow.
It's a rotcut.
All
right.
With that, Isperl will pipe up and say, "Well, I know of someone. There's a refugee in town that is a bit of a moonshiner, always has been. I haven't done anything about it because he's been just, trying to survive himself. It's old Duce. Old Duce Marygood."
So he probably the best bet for the source of the vodka.
Yes, probably. Old Haranza is almost out of beer. Will there be more supplies coming in? I'm a bit worried about what will happen if the alcohol runs out. Even beer.
It has been requested. Hopefully it will arrive shortly. Where can we find this Marygood?
Why, Marygood is Flipping, flipping, flipping.
Are you two up to questioning them tonight?
Yep, totally.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
And I'll tell Tafina that I'm going to basically be recusing myself, and that Hecate and himself will be looking after most of the investigation.
You sure you trust me with that?
Absolutely.
Hecate will still request that Arcadia at least come along, because I mean,
Oh, I
he
will
may...
come along, but
Okay.
you are going to be the face of the investigation.
I understand that, but could you also maybe do your... She'll just kind of like point to... what is that spell again? Oh my god. Where you can talk in my head, but I can't respond to you.
Oh, it's not a spell. It's just something that my lineage has always been able to do.
Ah, well, if you think of anything that we need to ask, please feel free to use that ability all you like and just spam me with your questions.
I will.
Let's go talk to the Moonshiner.
Yep. Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm
that-
just
that's
rolling,
just-
rolling,
Oh.
rolling.
What's the victim's name?
Oh yeah, we kind of need that.
His name is Ivar Gogoli. Gogol. You know that famous Russian writer's last name.
No.
Oh.
Gol.
Before we leave, let's ask the woman who was helping out Henna what she knows about Ivar.
Yes.
And she'll turn to you and say, Ivar was a good lad. He liked the drink, but otherwise he's rather unremarkable. He was just a fisherman in Safe Harbor before the disaster attacked. Or,
No,
Yeah,
no.
go ahead.
I was just gonna ask. No. Ugh, flat tongue toaster. No known feuds with anybody.
Oh, I mean, people get in bar fights around here, but no major feuds, jeez. He lost a good chunk of his family during the attack. But he managed to survive. I think he has a cousin or something that he's been staying with, but I don't know much else. He's been looking for work.
Okay. So we can also go and talk to the cousin too. What's the cousin's name?
His name is Vlad, Gorbachev.
Okay.
Seriously?
Dude, I'm thinking of names on the spot!
Putting you to work.
Just add like 7 syllables with "insky" on the end of it, and it'll sound at least legitimate.
Trying to get legit ones.
Just pull up like a Russian name generator or something on your phone there or whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Or,
do that in a minute.
Back of
Or
Xanathar's might have a bunch too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Xanathars does.
good.
Anyway, so we can talk to the cousin, get to know more about Gregory, right?
His name
Ivar.
was Ivar.
Ivar.
What is that Russian writer?
Gogoli.
Gogoli,
That's what
it.
I've got. Ivar is the dead guy. Okay, so we can talk to his cousin and we can talk to the Moonshiner. Who do we want to hit first? I think the Moonshiner.
Moonshiner.
Yeah.
Moonshiner is at 10, actually. I think that's pretty close by.
Avantier.
All right.
Give me 2 seconds. I gotta add his picture.
before we go, I will send a quick note off to and put it in the pouch, just asking them to, send either the proof of payment or like time slips or something that proves that Kevin was in the capital over the last couple of months.
Okay.
Okay, so it doesn't have Russian, but it does have Slavic.
Awesome. Close enough.
Well, Russian is a Slavic language, so yes.
Yes, it is.
How's Kevin's seduction of the woman going?
How is your seduction of the woman going?
Have I been taken into the?
I'm gonna say yes. You're given slightly better quarters, and you see this, the same early middle age with raven black hair with gray running down, sort of rogue like a little bit along the temples. She looks at you and says, "Ah, fresh meat, huh?"
Yes, I've just been taken in by the sheriff. I'm Chet Manley.
Shit.
Yes, rough and tumble Chet Manley.
You know what? Roll me like a deception check. I want to see how all this works.
Good sex maker too.
Looking like Buddy Christ.
Now, did I take luck with Kevin? Can't remember.
I think you did.
Always take
Yes,
luck.
I did. Okay, so I'm using lucky on this. All right, so you said deception. There we go. That's the dinger.
Nice.
Buddy Christ, sex machine.
She immediately is totally interested in you. That's quite a ridiculous name, but
I changed it. I didn't like my old name.
Oh,
Max
really?
Power. This wasn't powerful enough.
Oh, really? I'm Therath, short cloak. I was the leader of a bandit gang before some goddamn bureaucrats from the capital came in and messed things up. What about you?
I was also hit by these two. One was short and one was tall. I had some smuggling goods, and the handsomer one managed to knock me out.
Really? The halfling knocked you out?
Yes, exactly that one.
That halfling's a fast one. He snuck right up behind me, put a dagger to my throat, and in the middle of negotiations, backed off on the deal because I engaged in a little slavery. Oh, who hasn't?
Well, if we could get out of here right now, where could we go?
I heard that I had a half ogre named Banzig. He has some tribe out somewhere that he wants to revolutionize with the Industrial Revolution. And look at me, I'm a half ogre, and I'm trying to read books with my big hands. Ha 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 ha.
Oh, that is terrible. How could he even know where to get books? But let's say you couldn't go to him, where would we go? Where else could we go?
Well, I guess we could go up the old trail to Vanavara. We don't have a boat, so we can't go down the river. I definitely don't want to go further south than here. There's bad juju going on down there. Crazy shit, man.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, I've seen some things out there. Surely you've seen some, too.
Well, I came a fairly safe route regardless. That halfling was about the toughest thing I ever came across. But, no, tell me more. What bad juju? I am all ears.
Oh, ever since the melt, there's been these strange temples and caverns and burial cairns and popping up all over the place. All sorts of weird shit. I was up in a ziggurat, and there was some creepy shit upstairs. I sent some of my men upstairs for treasure hunting, and half of them didn't even come back.
Oh, that sounds as dark as your beautiful hair.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so out of character. She was the one that was working for the guy that we're trying to find now, right?
Yes, the guy that you are trying to find. And she's just said she's brought you up to working at the ziggurat.
So what happened after the ziggurat?
Well, it's not so much after the ziggurat I got arrested by those two meddling bureaucrats, and now I'm here.
So wait, you're saying she would have gotten away with it if it weren't for those damn meddling kids?
Yes, that is exactly what I am saying.
Well, what about getting out of here? Have you thought of any way I'll help you get out.
I've thought of a couple different ways. Make a shiv. And, I think we can tackle the guard when he brings us our food.
Well, that's way better than my plan.
What was your plan?
I was gonna bang this cup on the bars for a while, and then I was gonna build a harmonica.
Oh, you know music.
I figured I had time to learn.
Oh. Good with the breathing exercises and mouth control.
Circular breathing.
Ha. Anything else you want to ask before I
Nope.
close this scene?
I can't think of anything else because I was trying to lead her to spill beans on her boss, but I can't think of anything else to try and lead to that won't give me away.
Okay. That was a funny side anecdote. Now back to you guys. You're going to see the old. You're going to see the moonshiner.
Yes.
Old deuce.
Okay, and with that, old Duce, a happy humming comes out of a small tent next to a wooden plank shed. Suddenly, a middle-aged halfling male with a ponytail and a friendly face emerges from the tent in colorful robes, carrying two glass jars of clear liquid. Good day, good day. Old Duce Marygood at your service. And he bows. Come for a bit of the old spirit, have you?
Well, maybe in a bit, Goodman. We actually have a few questions for you.
Oh, hope it's not about anything wrong.
Oh no, just you obviously. Well, wait, hang on. How many people are around us right now?
Not many at this moment in time. It's pretty much you three.
Okay. No, nothing too bad. You came out. May we go inside and speak?
Oh well, of course.
So we'll go inside. Have you heard about what's happened in the marketplace recently?
Well, they caught Basil, didn't they?
Oh dear. Yes. We caught Basil, but unfortunately, there's been another murder. And we're investigating it. And we heard that you knew of the deceased.
Oh well,
Ivar Gregorius or whatever.
Yeah. Oh yes, him. Yeah. He was one of the young fellows. Whenever he got a bit of money, he came over and bought a bottle of my good stuff. It's rather cheap, as you can see. And would you like a sample?
I would love a sample. Can you tell me when was the last time you saw Ivar?
Oh, earlier today, actually. He had done some odd jobs around town and gotten a tiny bit of money, so he wanted to celebrate the night tonight. And he will very pointedly, in very lovely, like almost like sake cups, pour you and Arcady some of the alcohol. But you notice he doesn't pour any for himself.
Oh, I'm super sorry. I would love a sample, but I can't. We can't drink while we're actually like investigating. I thought you would be willing to let us have a little bit for later. I'm so sorry about that.
Oh yes, yes, yes. Of course. Just take
Thank you.
Just take it when when you leave. I'll pour these into a little container. Or do you have a container yourself?
I probably have a flask on me somewhere, so yeah, I'll hand him something.
Oh, of course, of course. And he'll pour a little bit into your flask, and he'll say, "Ah, that's a really good one. One of my better batches ever since I set up here."
So how long have you been here?
Well, when the comet happened, it destroyed everything. So I just packed up and headed north as far as I could go, and away from the floods and the mud, and I ended up here. As you are aware, the hills here keep us safe from any of the mudslides. So I guess I'm here for now.
And business is good?
Business is really, really good. Poor Haranza is running out of wheat to make her beer, but I luckily had a few had some old batches I saved, and a couple of grain and some grain for myself. Although the food is getting a little is going to get a little sparse in the next upcoming weeks, I suppose.
Oh well, we're working on that, so that should be fixed shortly. So when Ivar was here earlier, how did he seem to you? Did he seem agitated, worried, scared?
He just seemed normal to me.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone in this town is agitated, worried, or scared. He wasn't any
Well,
more than anyone else at this moment in
okay.
time.
Okay. No changes in behavior. You saw him earlier today. Been here since the comet happened. At that time, I honestly can't think of anything else to say. How was Ivar like usually? Is he normally like a happy-go-lucky guy? Is he usually kind of angry? Do you like what all do you know about him? Basically, is what you're trying to get at.
Oh, well.
Like everything you know about him.
Well, he was just a regular sort of young fellow, He was a bit listless, especially after the comet melting, but I suppose he was a bit listless before. He was just, like me, content with life in the way of things. He was a fisherman, and he was like the waters. They just keep on flowing. You gotta keep on flowing,
Mm-hmm.
Also,
We all
otherwise you
do.
go stale.
We all do.
Indeed.
Hecate will then look at Tafina and kind of glance at Arcady out of the corner of her eye. So Tafina, do you have any questions for Mr. Oldus?
I would say, being a local, you would know that he was a moonshiner. And people would go to him. He's not an unpleasant fellow. Just, doing something quasi-illegal.
Do
Ask
I know
him
what?
if
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
you go ahead.
No. I was gonna say, do I know what vegetable or fruit he's using to distill with?
He mostly uses whatever grains he can get his hands on. You would know, because how old are you roughly in human terms? Like your 20s?
I'm actually older.
Okay.
I know I wrote this down. I'm 47 years of age.
All right. So you're like, okay. I would say you probably bought some moonshine off him in the past. And he used to have a couple different varieties. He used to have like apple pie style moonshine, which was, a mix of just whatever grains he could get plus some apples to flavor it. But he also had like potato based and just like either wheat or barley based moonshine. It was always pleasant tasting for moonshine. and he would experiment a little over the years. You've kind of grown up and are not sneaking out to get some moonshine as much anymore in your older age, but you have some fond memories of buying a couple bottles from him. Go out and party with your friends.
Okay.
That answer help you at all?
Not exactly, but
What are you looking
that
for?
was informative.
What were you looking for?
It's okay. It doesn't
Tafina was a
matter
wild
anymore.
child.
Apparently, he was.
I'm not saying you were a wild child. Like, every teenager tries moonshine at some time. Unless you wrote it into your backstory that I didn't know that you were a complete teetotaler.
Honestly, not really.
All right, so Tafina doesn't have any questions?
No,
Well,
and in Hecate's
Yeah.
mind, I will just quickly ask if he got into any fights or anything when he was here drinking, or if he had any drinking buddies that old Duce would know about.
I will relay that question.
He will say, well, he was close to no one in particular, I'd say. Oh, like any other young person, they, all go hang out, have a party, enjoy the good life. The divines know they'll need it.
And Heke will make the sign of the divines when he says that.
And he'll make the sign of the divines back. Not sure what it should be. Maybe like
Yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming there is some kind of sign. So not really close with anybody. Was he did he get into fights when he was here, either today or any other day when he was drinking?
Not recently, no. Honestly, the sort of bar fights have been kept to a minimum. Either A, everyone's too tired and too tired to even start them, or oh geez, what can I say? He's either too tired to fight them, or or is too terrified to walk outside at night. Especially between Basil and now you're saying the market murderer is back?
Well, we don't know if it was the market murderer per se. We just know that somebody else was killed, and unfortunately it was Ivan, sorry. So when was the last time he got into a fight?
I can't say. I don't deal with any of that negativity stuff. The violence or anything like that. There's too many negative waves in this town.
Oh, there is, but we are working on turning that around, aren't we?
That's right. Between your food and my booze, I hope to, have people love each other again. Look out and enjoy this muddy place and see it for its potential instead of a muddish, dark, gray hellscape. And with that, he'll smile.
Heke will kind of internally raise her eyebrow at that. That got kind of dark. Why do you... Is it just because of the comma you're calling it a hellscape? Or is there something a little bit more going on here?
Well, everyone's been calling it a hellscape. I mean...
True.
Look outside. You look outside, and it is kind of a dark, muddy, gray hellscape.
Okay, just checking.
You gotta remember, like, there was a whole glacier on here, and it melted. And...
No, I remember that. Is just for him to, like, come out and say like that. It just made me think that there was something a little bit more going on. That's why I'm just like, wait a minute. But okay then. So nobody else has any more questions, I'm assuming?
I can't think of anything.
Yeah.
Nope.
Cool. So thank you so much for your time and your sample, Mr. Oldus. We very much appreciate it. If we have any more questions, we'll be more, or if, we know where to come to if we want to have another little drink. So thank you again for your time. And if we need to ask you more questions, we'll be back.
And with that, outside you hear
Bloody hell.
someone saying, Old Duce, I know you're in there. Did you seriously think you could hide from us? In town? And with that, old Duce would look shook. And you know what? It's 9 o'clock. This is a good time to take a break. Cliffhanger!
Yeah. All right.
All right, be right back.
Hecate is totally going to cast detect poison. If I can cast it, I'm going to prepare it and cast it on this moonshine tomorrow.
Can't be worse than Kevin's swill.
It's great that you're not actually being heard by them.
Hurt by who?
They're both not at their computers.
Ah.
Oh, Arcady has already said that the last time, I mean, he doesn't drink it because the last time it happened, he went blind for a couple of days and deaf for 4.
So Arcady is just like, nerp. All the nerp.
Yep.
Oh my god, this needle does not want to thread. What the fuck?
Well, have you tried the standard licking it and then aiming true?
That's all I do.
Okay.
I just had to snip off the little tip of
Yeah,
it
the
because I
little
was a little
end bits,
afraid.
yeah.
I'm usually much better at this. There we go. Yeah, I'm working on a birth announcement for a baby that was born last week.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. Our his best friend and his wife, they just had a little boy, Julian. He's so cute.
Back. Oh, and Tara, I'd like to amend what you should do to your sister's characters.
Okay.
Make their mothers and come with an inventory full of warm sweaters and handkerchiefs to clean the.
Oh, you know what? That would hit a little bit too close to home for one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, just because like I helped raise her, right? So
Oh,
yeah.
just mess with them.
Oh yeah, I definitely in at least one game I will most certainly do that. It's just that whole like mom thing with that's kind of par for the course for me, because yeah, I was like second mom for them growing up, right? Because I was
I
5.
Nanny Esme it up like completely.
Ooh, do a Nanny Esme. Okay, that. Would you be terribly upset if I actually did Nanny Esme?
No, go for it.
Yes.
I love Nanny. She's such a great character. Absolutely.
Accents and all. I will do that at least for one game.
Well, and the thing
Beautiful.
is, like the original Nanny Esme is actually AL legal.
Yeah, she is.
Ooh.
But you can't transfer characters, unfortunately, or I'd give you
Yeah.
her.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's cool. I'd kind of be stuck to tier 1, especially for Saturday morning, because Charity, actually neither one of them have season 9 characters. I think Chris may
Well,
still have some from last season, but I
you
don't
don't-
think Charity has any.
You don't need a season 9 character to. Okay, if you don't have a character, you need a season 9 character because you need to create a character. But your character,
Yeah,
don't
I
have
don't
to have a
think
season
Charity
9 character to play
has.
season 9 content.
Like, I know Chris has some season 8 characters. Obviously, she can play that. They can play those, but I don't think Charity has any characters, because I know I did one AL legal character for all the kids, but I think that's the one that they're playing in Tomb of Annihilation. I can't remember.
Time to prep
And-
them. Start a new campaign just for prepping them for.
No. I would, but like I only see them once a month already, so I'm already trying to like figure out how I can fast track this last bit of Tomb of Annihilation so we can start Curse of Strahd next January.
Ooh, are you doing card draw or are you pre-selecting who their things are?
I haven't decided yet. I'm probably going to do a card draw and let the fates decide.
If so, I would suggest doing the card draw beforehand, so
Yeah.
that you at least know where everything is, and then stacking the deck when you do it in person.
Okay. I'll have to remember that. Yeah, I
That's
think
what I did before.
Next session, because they've basically cleared up all of their side quests, so I think next session is so either in February or March, they're finally going to get to Omu. So I need to figure out how to like fast track them through the city so that they can get to the main dungeon. Like, I don't have to, but I like to kind of like, keep it that, we start a new, like when we do start a new campaign, we start at the beginning of the year. That's just my own little neuroses going on there, but we'll see what we can see.
What was the T-Rex's name? Just have that chase them into the dungeon.
Something of many feathers.
King of Feathers? Was that
King
it?
of Feathers, that's it.
There we go.
King of Feathers, yep.
Nice.
That's a good idea. I'll let them explore. Like, I'll give them one full session to explore and just kind of like run around Omu. But then, yeah, I think after that, I'll just have the King of Feathers just chase him into the tomb.
You're not doing the cubes?
We'll see. Because it'll, like I said, like I have to depends on how quickly they go and everything like that. If it gets down to the crunch, like I would say by like July the latest. If they haven't gotten to the dungeon by themselves, then I'll give them the kick into it by July.
Well, you can also have the Yuan-Ti have collected nearly all of them, and so if they make a deal with Raznisi, they just have to go in and collect one, something like that.
Okay.
All right, are we all back?
Yeah,
I like
more
these
more or less.
ideas.
Nice. Alright, so before we left for our break, you guys were about to leave Olduce's tent, and then you heard a woman saying, Olduce, we know you're in there. Did you think you could hide for us in town forever? And Olduce looks shook. What do you guys do?
So, do we have a bit of baby mama drama going on here? And she'll like stage whisper to Alduce.
Oh, what? No. Oh, thank the divines. Nothing like that. It's just the It's
Sorry.
just Dame Parla and Dinks. Can you just go out there and tell her I'm not here? That would be great. I just want to, live my life and be a free spirit. And they're really harshing my vibe.
Well, that depends. Why are you hiding from them?
Well, do say. I maybe used to do some work for them, slip them some information. You know, that sort of thing. I was a young and upcoming moonshiner, but I needed some money.
Ay, gotta save us.
I'll just step out of the tent and just say good evening to whoever is outside.
Ah, and you see this tall, stately woman with a symbol of the Order of the Last Bastion Knights on her armor. She says, "Oh, it's you, Arcady."
Indeed it is. May we help you this evening?
Well, yes. That fellow in there. We need to speak with him.
Well, we are currently having a discussion with him regarding the murder that took place, so we shouldn't be too much longer, but if you don't mind, we need to continue speaking to him in private. Is there anything you wish me to ask him?
Not right this moment. However, I will be waiting right outside so I can, ask my questions. If you have any questions, pertaining to him, you can always ask my, superior officer.
I'm not that bothered.
Good. And she will sit there and sort of, stand guard, eyes on a swivel, watching you
I
and
will
watching
say,
the tent.
as a potential witness, I may need to speak to him further, so I would appreciate if he was not too harshly questioned by yourself, if you don't mind. And he'll just kind of, wink.
She'll wink back and says, of course, we'd never get in the way of His Majesty."
Well, of course, I wouldn't expect it. Excuse me, we should be wrapping up shortly.
Of course.
And I'll just step back into the tent and say, there's a gang of people that look like they want to do some serious interrogation of you.
Roll a... It's only her right now.
Oh, okay. I will still say there's more.
Are you lying to him?
No, I'm just going to try and persuade him that, if there's anything more he needs to say to us, he should just say it.
Well, I know nothing about this murder. I just sell my moonshine. I'm just trying to make a buck. I mean, I'm sober. I don't even drink the stuff.
Have you heard anything about this young girl, Henna?
Oh, yeah. I heard that story. Real tragedy, her. A few months back, she and her older brother, I can't quite remember his name, but they were, like kids do. They were looking for lost magical treasure and magical artifacts. And they were playing along the glacier, and then one day they fell into some sort of crevasse or tunnel or something, and she was trapped for days and days, maybe even a good 2 weeks. Her brother died instantly, of course, when he, by rubble or something. It was just her and him in this dark cavern, all by herself. Real tragedy. It took some adventurers to find her.
That is a terrible tale. Do you need a head start before this woman comes in, or do you think you'll be all right? I have told her that we will need to speak to you soon, so she may be unpleasant, but she shouldn't be too difficult for you.
I really don't want to go there. I really don't want to go back there. I was young. I was stupid. I just passed a little information about the underworld of this hick town, so they could just go play goblins and knights and stuff. I really don't want to go with them. I'm afraid I might lose my life, sir. And if I'm a witness, you should take me to the court of the laws, right?
What information did you give them?
Just, what lord was, knocking boots with what courtesan, what gangs were fighting each other, what drugs were coming through the area, just...
An
Can I
informant.
insight that?
Yeah.
I feel like he's holding something back.
You're on fire tonight, Hecate.
Jawohl.
Hecate! He's not holding anything back.
Okay. So stuff that we probably wouldn't have any interest in.
Or do you?
Is sanctuary a thing in this world?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay. Heke will draw Arcadia aside and say, if we feel this information might be useful to us, we could always offer him sanctuary in the church.
I think that is a lovely idea. If he has information on some of the nobles, something tells me as the election draws near, it is going to become more and more valuable. I never trust that nobility has the interests of the people at heart.
Agreed.
As the noble.
Okay, so Heke will turn around and is there she'll know the words and she'll be like, okay, so now that you have formally asked for sanctuary from the church, and she'll say it loud enough for like the knight outside to hear, but not like she's shouting, right? And she will like just stare daggers at old dudes, like play along. We'll escort you to the church when Mother I want to say Isolde, but I know it's wrong.
It's Burrell.
Thank you. I keep getting it mixed up. Where Mother Isparel will set you up, and then you'll remain there until whatever the rules of sanctuary are, such a time as you're willing, able, free to leave, blah, 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 blah.
Are we going to lift up the back of the tent and let him get a running head start?
Oh, no, we're walking right out the front. He's claimed sanctuary from the church. I have jurisdiction over him now.
Excellent. If you wish to take him back to the church, I would like to take Tafina and do a little exploring.
Sure thing. Meet at the cousin's place? Because we were supposed to question him too, right? Or is there no point in that now?
Meet at Henna's tent.
Okay.
And I will telepathically, first to Hecate and then to Tafina, ask them, could either of you survive for 2 weeks alone in a glacier?
Yeah. Heke will just shake her head no, because like Heke was already thinking that story was kind of jinky.
Possibly, but I'm used to surviving out in the wilderness, so
Exactly.
I'm not a typical case study.
So what was Olduce's reaction to me saying, oh, hey, now that you've claimed sanctuary?
Yes, for I am a sinner in the eyes of the Holy Mother and Father. I repent my sins. I worship.
That's not what sanctuary does.
I am.
She'll just kind of like kiss at him. Stop it! That's not what sanctuary does. She'll just kind of like shush him and be like, okay, we'll escort you to the church. Follow us.
Yes, Mother. Yes, Holy Matron. It is only through your kind words and actions and diviningness that
She'll poke him in the side as we're about to leave the tent. Just like give him a little poke, like calm down.
Oh, she has a shiv too.
Yeah, and we'll just I'm not going to. I'll just nod at the knight and I'll keep walking because I kind of want to see what happens if what the knight's going to do to stop us.
The knight is going to stare at you with, and you can just tell her teeth are just grinding in her mouth. She's trying to keep like this stone gray, sort of gray rock sort of face, and she's just like, "Arr, how
Oh,
dare
good, she
you?"
heard me.
And she's just like, she's staring daggers at you right now, and she goes,
I'll just give a little shrug, like, sorry, he asked for it. I'm not gonna say it, but that's kind of like the look and the shrug I'll give, like, sorry, it's what he said. It's that he called sanctuary. Nothing I can do about it.
"Matron, that I see you have converted another sinner today."
That actually has yet to be seen. This particular sinner has claimed sanctuary from the church. So we're going to be escorting him to Mother Isparel for now, and hopefully he will see the light.
Hopefully he will. Better get on your knees.
Does she look like she might be planning like some sort of excursion into the church to get him? Are those the wheels that I kind of see turning behind her head? Do I need to roll like insight or something
I
for
don't
that?
think you need to roll insight to figure out
Okay.
that she's trying to. She's trying to figure out something, and she's pissed.
Do I maybe get advantage because of all my awesome RP?
Yes, you can get advantage.
Yes. Insight. Me. Oh, that's even worse.
It's the exact
Really?
same.
Really? Is that enough? Do I think she's planning something?
You get the sense that, again, if this was a Telltale game, Parla will remember that, and the Order of the Last Bastion Knights will remember this.
I'm making so many friends tonight.
Right up until you have to monitor an election.
This is not how I wanted the night to go, but here we are.
Kevin's making
yeah.
friends too.
So Hecate will escort him to the church, and Mother Isparel, he's claimed sanctuary, possible witness, yada yada.
Possible witness. Oh dear, come right here. I am a sinner in the eyes of the most gentle Holy Mother, and he'll just keep going on and on.
Hecate will face palm.
I'm doing good, right? And he'll, like, after you get into, like, an office area or whatever, like, he'll be like, I did good, right?
Tone it down a little bit, but otherwise, fantastic. Just stay here, stay in the church as long as you are within the building. Outside forces should not be able to assail you here. If they do, they will face the wrath of the mother and the father combined.
Oh, yes.
And then she will turn to Mother Isparel. Mother, are there any urchins that frequent here that you're particularly friendly with?
Well, I do have some of mine. My little choir children that could be used. I have the youth group that could also be used.
So Hecate will leave the mother with a few coins and just say, if anything happens, if anyone tries to get into the church to get at Oldus or get at Henna, or if Mother Isparel just feels uncomfortable with whatever situation is going on, she is to send one of the children running to find Hecate. And Hecate will do her best to keep Mother Isparel up to date as to where she's going to be at any given time.
Yeah, of course. So wait, are you staying here or?
No, I'm going to be going to because we agreed that once I dropped him off, that we would go meet up at Henna's tent. So that's where Hecate's going now. And this is just for future reference because now that the order is after Oldus, if they do choose to come and try and break sanctuary on the church, she wants some kind of, alert system. She wants to have Mother Esperel to have that like lifeline basically that she can send for help if she needs it.
Of course, but I'm sure they would never do that. They always come here after services, and I do the good old-fashioned, blessing of them before they go off to battle. Oh, we hardly get to do that anymore.
Well, these are very strange times, Mother, and I just want to make sure that everybody is safe within the church. This is just a precaution. We probably won't even have to use it, but just for my own peace of mind, let's just agree to this, okay?
Of course. There are
And then
strange things about in this town.
And then they'll have their little conversation, say their good nights, and then Hecate will go off to Hannah's tent.
All right, so you guys re-enter the. How are you getting into? You're just walking right into the refugee camp.
Well, I'm going to be meeting Arcady and Tafina wherever they said the tent. So.
All right, how are you finding this woman's tent?
I think we should go, first of all, apologize, and this will be on me, to Genus or Niblin, whichever is the leader here, and have them take us to her tent.
All right, so you're going to go to Niblin and Genius and ask to be taken to her tent?
Yes. Well, first of all, I'm going to apologize for my tone earlier, but we have some questions about Henna, and this may remove the need to even interrogate her tomorrow. So we would appreciate if we could see her tent, as she is the only witness and nobody else seems to know anything else that has happened. This is a formality of any investigation, unfortunately.
Yes, we are. How do you apologize to them?
I will simply say I am sorry for the tone I took. I know you are as worried about your people as anything else, but I take the law very seriously, and sometimes I forget myself.
Roll me a persuasion check. These guys were very pissed at you.
Yeah, that's about right. I've been rolling constant 3s for the last 2 sessions.
They're gonna be like, well, yes, of course, you take the law so seriously. So, I presume you have a warrant to search a citizen of the Empire, of the Kingdom's property, correct? I mean, while I do believe your mission was to bring stability to the area, I'm not sure you're not a judge, are you? You're not a sheriff. You're just a bureaucrat.
Is Hecate here yet?
I'm gonna say you all show up together.
Okay. Okay.
Indeed, but this is also not a legal dwelling of any sort.
But people, it's still it doesn't matter if the abode is fixed or not. Property is property.
And you are not considered members of this community. That is one of the things we are helping you fight for.
Are you?
I am sorry, but yes, we have absolutely petitioned for your right to be given the vote and made full citizens of this town.
Oh.
Hecate will back him up on that claim.
As I see you having dinner with the nobles and the like, and you've palled around with the Order of the Last Bastion Knights. Not that I'm too afraid of them at all. They're They're noble morons. You keep saying that you're going to get us voting rights. How exactly do you plan on doing it?
We have been petitioning the candidates, and we have been, and I'll look around to see if anyone else is here. We have been working to try and understand how the mayor here continually gets reelected. It certainly does not seem to be above board, but we have not figured out his scheme as of yet.
And with that, they'll both raise an eyebrow and sort of lean in and say, "What information have you found? I always knew Badalis was up to something."
We don't quite know yet, but he certainly has slipped us some falsehoods that are raising questions, but I think we need to talk to some of his previous opponents to perhaps find out what happened during the actual election.
I wanted in writing that you're going to petition for us to get our people to get voting rights.
Oh yeah, I'll quickly write that out and say, I have let my superiors back in the capital know there is no one who seems to have any problem with this. I mean, given the state of the lands around here, it is the only way to actually give you some of the rights that you deserve.
He'll take it, he'll read it, and very pointedly read it, letting you know that he can read. And he'll stuff the paper in his pocket. And he'll say, "All right, I'll take you to Henna's place. She has nothing to do with it, but, I'll watch over you."
Thank you.
And with that, you make it to Henna's tent. What do you do? It is kind of small, kind of very, very much a hovel, and she pretty much lives alone in this, just the equivalent in our world of like a cardboard box underneath a freeway.
Okay.
So expensive
light a
for
torch,
on our real
so
estate.
yeah. Light a torch, just so we can see everything inside. Sort of. Is there a floor, or like, can I like stick the torch in like the dirt?
The dirt, everything around here is really muddy, so I'm going to say you're going to need at least one person to hold the torch. And 1 second, I'm just scrolling.
I need to take a light spell.
I really wish we had Sasha right now.
Yeah, alright.
He's
So
pretty good to help investigate.
This is a floorless tent, so roll and investigate. There's no real description on it, of it at all. It's just...
Okay. I'm assuming, yeah, if there's a bedroll, I'll check under the bedroll, and I don't know if there's a bag or a satchel or anything like that on the ground.
All right.
I don't know what she would have her stuff in.
Yeah, there's like a burlap sack and like some boxes.
That is an 11. Can anybody assist me?
Oh, I'll
I'm
help
not
you.
Proficient.
Investigation?
Yep.
Ooh, am I proficient in that?
Well, even if you assist me, I'll get advantage.
Okay, yeah, I'll help you out. Kaseke would be looking around as well.
Jesus Christ. Okay, yeah, so that is an 11.
It is okay, because an 11 was just the bare minimum you needed.
Oh dear God. 3, 5, 3, and a 2 tonight.
Just to check.
Womp womp.
Yeah.
Wow.
Everybody else is rolling 20s. Come on, man.
Kate, you want to roll?
Sure. Investigation. Oh, I got a -1. Let's see how I do. Haha.
Are you sure this is the right tent?
I am sure that this is the right tent. However, you notice, all three of you kind of combined, notice that the mud underneath her bedroll is freshly turned over.
Ooh.
Diggity diggity.
Dig it up, yeah.
All right, you all together begin digging it up, and even Genius is like, "Oh, come on, now what are you doing?" But then you uncover a burlap sack. What do you do with the sack?
What's in the sack?
What's in the box?
Is
What's
it
in the
is
box?
this how wet is the sack? I mean, I guess it's been buried in mud, so yeah.
It's pretty moist.
Is it a
I will
partially
open it and
dyed
look
sack?
in.
You discover 6 human hearts. A
Oh
bloody, long, exceptionally sharp blade that seems to be of a very ancient design. And a stone tablet with strange carvings on it. Does anyone speak or read it? Does anybody know Goblin?
I do.
Hecate will not want to show the Nimrods who accompanied them the tablet and stuff like that, but she will more than happily point out the human hearts in the chest and raise her and just kind of cock an eyebrow at them and just be like, "So Zone of Truth isn't looking all that bad now, is it?"
What in the Divines? And they'll make the sign of the Divines. Netlin
Oh, no,
will
no,
make
no,
the
no, no.
sign of a Dwarven god. I haven't decided which one yet.
While Arcady is investigating the goblin reading, I'll kind of distract them with this.
How could it have been? And they force you all inside the tent and go, how could it have been Henna? I mean, look at her. She's 90 pounds soaking wet.
And possibly being controlled by an outer being, like I said. And Hecate will do the whole finger snap in the air thing.
She
I'd
survived
like to
for
point-
weeks in a crevasse. That points
I'd
to
also like
perhaps
to
she
point
is
out
not
something.
human.
Lauren, yes?
Yes,
I'd like to
Serafina.
point out something. We've also kind of assumed, based on circumstantial evidence, that she can transform into other people. What's saying this isn't just another disguise?
Oh, that is a very good point.
Just saying, it makes my Zone of Truth suggestion a little bit more palatable now, don't it? Hecate is really pissed off with this. She likes casting Zone of Truth for some reason.
And it will also allow us to know that it wasn't somebody else who buried it here.
I mean, yeah, that's what it's gotta be. I mean, she was taking down grown men.
If it was her.
Respectfully, with the proper surprise and planning, I can take down grown men.
Yeah, but you're an adult. She's 16.
I'm also only 3'2".
That wasn't a height joke. It was, you know.
I'm 3'2" and 97 pounds. Taking on a full-grown man is like a child taking on a full-grown man.
All right, I see your point. Tafina. All right, what do you guys want to do next?
Hecate is actually very anxious to get back to the church now, considering Mother Esperil is left alone with what could possibly be a serial killer.
The camera pans to Kevin in the cell. The guard has just entered. Kevin looks like he's about to jump the guard. He spins him around, cracks his back, and sends him happily on his way, shutting the door behind the guard.
And then Kevin realizes that his cellmate has already made a shiv.
Hey, why didn't you stab him? That was our plan.
I thought that, we could get him back in a second time, but that time he'd be less likely to raise an alarm.
Oh, good thinking.
Also, I need my hours for my chiropractic class. If I don't get 1,000 hours, they won't certify me.
Oh, you know what? I've had poor carpal tunnel. Can you adjust my neck and my wrist?
Are we in the same cell or different cells? Because I could try it through the bars, but that might make it difficult.
I'm gonna say you guys are in the same cell now. Originally it was separate cells, but now it's the same cell.
Anyway.
Roll medicine check, see if you can actually do it.
Uh-oh.
He's going to paralyze her.
Arbitrary joke that chiropractic isn't medicine, and then I slink off to my chiropractor.
Hey, screw you, my dad's a chiropractor. You do a good job. There's a nice, loud, audible crack. And she's like, oh.
See, I needed the practice. Now you're nice and limber for the shivving.
Oh. And for other things.
Yes.
And away.
I'm gonna big gulp, big Adam's apple, then away.
All right, heading back to the church, I'm going to straight up ask Hecate and Tafina, do you think she's human?
I
At
would
this
vote on
point,
no.
yeah. Nothing would surprise me at this point. Us. Nothing would. Third person, damn it. So nothing would really surprise us at this point.
Okay, you need to get your sleep tonight, Hecate, so you can change your spells. I will stay up all night and watch over her.
Thank you, Arcady.
And in fact,
Do you think we should tell the mother?
No, the mother isn't very good at hiding her feelings. I'm afraid if we tell her the truth, she's going to give the game away to Hannah.
Alright, so Genius and Niblin will actually come with you and also stay overnight in the church under the guise of making sure Hannah is okay, and Genius will send the other older woman back to her home.
Oh, they're actually going to prove to be useful nimwits. Okay, great.
They have...
Hecate does not like them.
Why? They're just trying to protect their people. You guys are outsiders. You're not from around here. You come in with your magic and your law and your bureaucracy.
The greater good.
You're suspicious. They're used to nobles coming in and stomping down all over them and not caring. So can you see why they might be a little suspicious?
Yes. Now I get it. Before I was just like, you're not making sense because you're just making everything harder and more complicated for us, and you're not thinking about the greater good. So that's why she's getting pissed off.
Okay. So, back to the prison. You guys have a lovely conversation and you braid her hair. Is there anything else you want to add to it?
No. That's fine. Just from what was before, that was it. There's not much else so anybody before? Any special people?
Anybody before what?
No, that's what I ask her. I'm still trying to hint to get info on what's his face.
Oh, you mean the scary folks. Oh, well. Now, I'll let you in on something. The reason why we shouldn't go south is that there is some crazy mofo down there in some ancient temple or something doing some crazy things. He's doing some crazy experiments. he keeps jabbering on about demons and like some sort of plague's gonna come and wipe out the world, and he needs to cure it.
Really?
Yeah, his name was Ralakai. And he was just like, what sort of name is Ralakai? Anyway, have you ever heard of a name like that?
Ralakai. Sounds kind of like Malachi.
Yeah, I know, right? He was such a weird dude. He never really let me get a good look at his face. He always, he had like some sort of magic thing going on. But you know how wizards can be super creepy, you know what I mean?
Oh, totally. Where is that place so I can avoid that place?
It's down south, and she will roughly give you directions to where it is.
Helpful.
Right, now pan back to everyone else. I'm gonna say, as you guys are sort of sitting down and you guys are watching her, you notice that she's keeping kind of to herself. And Arcadia, you know her, or actually Tafina, you would know that her eyes are constantly darting around, and she's very keenly aware of her surroundings, almost like prey when they think a predator is nearby.
I will, because I can do this, I will communicate that to Arcady in Halfling.
Oh, snap!
Because very few people speak Halfling.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will mentally pass that along to Hecate, and I will ask Tafina in Halfling, should we just arrest her tonight? Do you think she's going to run?
Was that to me or to Tafina?
That was to Tafina in
Okay.
Halfling.
Okay.
I think so. I'm not sure. I mean, right now she's either going to run or she's hyper paranoid, in which case it's just as bad.
Katie, you're kind of looking her over, and you realize that she has a fresh cut on, you realize kind of the bottom of a fresh scar on her right forearm, peeking out through her clothes. And her clothes, she's wearing long clothes and a long shirt as well, even though it's actually quite warm outside. But she was in basically a cardboard box, so.
Oh, what did the tablet say?
Oh, can you speak Goblin?
I can.
Alright, you recognize it. Let's see. The tablet is a ritual claiming to resurrect the dead. The ritual requires the caster to carve symbols into their body and burn 10 human hearts. And then supposedly, this will resurrect a dead person.
I will pass that along to both Hecate and Tafina and point out the mark on her arm. Does the mark look like a defensive injury or like something she's carved into herself?
You can't really tell that from this far away, and also you can just kind of see the very bottom of a scar. It's one of those ones where it could be either or. She could have literally just fallen or on her way here and had gotten it, or she could have gotten it just living in that horrible tent and foraging for food, or, you know, she could have carved it into herself. You can't really tell.
Okay. I think we should take her to one of the cells. I'm afraid if she's going to try and run tonight, she might have an advantage.
Aren't you saying you were going to just keep watching her in shifts?
Yeah, I was going to keep watch over her. Yeah, not even in shifts. I was going to allow Hecate to sleep, and yeah, I was going to stay up and watch over her.
I thought you and Tafina would have shared the duty along with Nibbin and Genius.
Oh, sure, if we can do that, absolutely. But yeah, I'm actually, even so, I'm going to stay up. I'll take the point of exhaustion, and I'll be up all night.
Okay. Do. Anything else before it's the next day?
Before everybody else goes to bed, I was thinking, I just can't help but worry about poor Kevin. He's probably crying himself to sleep.
Meanwhile, what's Kevin doing? Just chatting away?
Yes, trying to
Feigning a
stall
headache?
as long as possible. Just keeping her at bay.
Are you feigning a headache?
No, it's more like, but first the seduction. I shall sing. I gave my love a chicken that had no bones.
What the hell? Where's that from?
I learned it from The Simpsons, but I'm assuming it's an old Irish or Scottish song.
Yeah, it's an old old song. It's like a lullaby or something.
Really? I gave my love a chicken that had no bones?
Yeah, I actually used to sing that to my sisters when they were young as like a lullaby. I grew up on it.
It's called I Gave My Love a Cherry, the riddle song.
Yeah, there you go. We never had a name for it. It was just, it was a lullaby that we would sing sometimes.
Huh. Alright. Do. The next day. Arcady, you have a point of exhaustion. Hecate, you have your spells for today.
Jawohl.
How do you want to do this?
Well, preferably without being seen.
Well,
Do you want to call anyone else in other than Genius and Niblin?
I was going to say...
I would suggest let's take her to the military. Just say we're going to take a statement and question her there somewhere protected and safe for her.
So you're taking her to the military?
Yeah, but in the guise of it being somewhere that we can officially take her statement.
Okay. That's fine. And Genie, she's sort of calm because Genius and Nibbin are with you. I'm so scared. That big evil man just really hurt that other man.
Hecate is in her summer form now, so red hair, long red hair, back in a braid, very very military, green eyes. But she'll just say to the girl, "Now, child, you have nothing to fear. The gentleman is locked up. This is all just a matter of procedure and routine." There we go. That's what I'm looking for.
Oh, okay. I get to go home after this, right?
As soon as we know that it's safe for you to go home.
Okay. Can I sleep? It was nice sleeping inside.
So wouldn't you like that Heck is gonna her face is gonna crumple, then she's gonna turn to Arcady. She's like, because Hecate thinks that it'd be best if she perhaps cast the spell before you guys, outside, with Hedda not realizing it, and have her walk into the space. Pretty sure I can do that. She's going to say, I will go ahead. We will go ahead, and we will let them know that we are on our way.
And Arcadia will just think into her head, 6 hearts in a bag.
I'm assuming that means don't leave.
No, it means don't
It means
be.
don't feel sympathy.
Yeah, still. Yeah.
Can you
All right,
detect-
she's gonna go.
Can you detect evil, or can you detect if she's a fiend or anything like that?
You would know that. Okay, in this world, detect good and evil typically only works on like demons or people who are actively being controlled by a demon, or it's like some angelic force or something like that. You can't really use it on humans.
Question.
Well, I
Yes.
thought the spell is too high.
I can potentially do that.
Detect evil and good.
No, I have primeval awareness.
Oh.
Primeval awareness does what? Because isn't that like
It
beast sense?
it literally tells me that any aberrations, celestial, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, or undead, unfortunately, within a mile. And it literally just tells me, yes, they're there.
Oh, right.
not
Yes, I
if
remember
they
that one,
are
yeah.
or are not an individual. So it's not perfect.
Are you going to cast that now?
Well, yeah, I'm going to use a spell slot to activate that. So for the next minute, because I'm only using a first level spell slot, I know if any aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, or undead are anywhere within 1 mile of me.
You do get a lot of pings for undead, but not on henna.
I don't know their location. It literally says this feature doesn't reveal the creature's location or number. I just feel that there are undead about.
Oh yeah, you feel that there are undead about. You feel that there are it's up to a mile?
Yes, because I don't believe the town is my favorite terrain, considering I'm forest.
I'd consider it forest. Or it was forest land at one point, then it became a glacier, and now trees will grow here again, so...
Isn't it wasteland then?
Well, I don't think wasteland's an option.
Well, it says, or within up to 6 miles of your favorite terrain. I don't want it to go that far.
Alright, just within
I
a
want
mile?
to keep it somewhat localized.
You don't see anything like aberrations or abyssal or anything like that. You do feel undead, but not...
Okay. So I will voice that. There are undead about, but we've stumbled across that before, what with the glacier and all, so that's not terribly disconcerting.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so I'm gonna kind of skip ahead a little bit because it's almost 10, and this is a good place to end after the big reveal. You go in and, do you talk to Huberg first? Do you show him the evidence?
Would I be carrying that around on me, though?
Oh, who is carrying that around with them?
That's a good question.
I'd be carrying it around with me.
So would you go talk to Huberg and be like, yo, we found 6
I will
hearts.
mentally tell him that as we come in.
He will look kind of shocked and then look at you and go, what?
Subtle.
My colleague here is just wanting to question our witness.
Oh, yes, the bad man. That tall, gangly looking fellow with wide, crazy eyes? Yeah, he was the one that did it. I only saw a little bit of it from my tent. He came right up to Ivar, and Ivar was drunk and just... He was only being a mild nuisance, and then he plunged a dagger into his chest, and then I couldn't look anymore.
How far away is my cell? Can I hear this? Can I just scream liar for the distance?
You can't. I'm gonna say you're not there. You can't hear it.
I'm
Yeah.
just ask if my thing was down the hall or something.
Hecate would have, I'm assuming Hecate would have cast Zone of Truth before she got in there.
Oh, good point. And Zone of Truth, what is
She has
it?
to make a saving throw. On a failure, she can only speak the truth. But she can be evasive as long as anything she says is the truth if she fails the saving throw. Otherwise, she doesn't have to speak the truth.
And I would know whether she succeeds or fails.
Yes, that's the important thing. You would know she succeeds or fails. So you
Mhm.
would know if she has the ability to lie or not.
1 sec. I will add her to the sort of tracking. What is the? Well, I'll add her to the tracking. I'll plop her down on here, and then you can select her, and then we'll go from there.
I believe it's a wisdom saving throw.
Do.
No, it's a charisma saving throw.
Too many windows open.
Alright, I've added you, and the cult fanatic token is that way you can just control click on her, and you can hit the button with the spell.
Well, it helps if I actually had the spell on my character sheet first. Let's do that.
Control click.
There we
Steph,
go.
it's a charisma saving throw. Woohoo!
What are you doing to me? I don't.
Oh, she just would have walked into it. She wouldn't have seen me casting it or anything. But she does know if she does know. But does she know walking into it, or does she know
An affected creature is aware of the spell
of the
and
spell?
thus avoid
Okay.
answering questions to which it would normally respond with a lie.
You did something to me. I thought you were my friend.
Oh, nothing to you, child. We merely cast a spell to ensure that everybody within the room would be safe while we took your statement. Wait, I can't say that.
You're under the effect as well.
Wait,
you can make
yeah,
your saving throw though.
Point being, I'm not lying. I just say, we didn't do anything to you. It's a spell we cast on the room to facilitate this process, which is not a lie.
And with that, Genius and Nipin will say, "It's all right. Just tell the truth." What do you guys want from me?
Hecate will actually kind of like let Arcady take the lead on this, and she'll just kind of look at him.
16 feet away from Hecate.
And he will pull out the bag and the knife and just say, "Are these yours?"
Jesus!
Wow, going right into it. Gotcha.
She will just remain silent because.
Oh, speak up. If you're completely innocent, we'll believe you.
Did you see Kevin kill Ivar?
She will remain silent.
Did you kill Ivar perhaps as a way to bring back someone you loved?
And with that, she will begin bawling. And just cry and cry and cry. And she'll sort of mutter to herself a little bit and then say, "I want Larkin back. It was my fault he died. We were just playing. I pulled some sort of lever and then rocks fell. I was alone in there in the dark, all by myself, and I got so hungry. So hungry. I waited and I waited as long as I could. But he was was already dead and long dead. And I didn't want to die anymore. Didn't want to die. Then I found the tablet. It told me things. It told me I could bring him back. But only death can pay for life. Those other people, nobody would miss them. And I could make it up to Larkin and bring him back.
Wow.
I'm glad I'm in the cage. I don't have to deal with this shit.
Is that a trigger warning for anybody? I'm just gonna. Is everyone feeling
No,
cool
that's like-
from that? Okay.
Has
then
anyone
everyone-
here eaten a Playmate? Because let us know now. It's a trigger warning.
No. That is just not where I was expecting this to go. But oh my god, it's so good.
Wow. Yeah, that was not what I was expecting. Did you
Where-
write that, or is that from the book?
That is from the book, but
Wow.
it doesn't tell you exactly how the way this you will get this information, and you guys actually set it up so perfectly for me to give you this information, and you led yourselves down the right path, and I didn't even really have to do anything. It was great.
Nice. Heki will ask, where's the tablet now?
Oh, I have it.
Oh, that's the same tablet. Okay, cool. Just making sure.
That's the same tablet
Where did you find the tablet?
in the cave with my brother Larkin. I didn't notice it before when I was just so scared and alone. But then I found it. And I could read it somehow. Just I could suddenly read it.
What happened to your parents?
No, not my parents. They never knew. I don't know if they were mad at me for what happened to Larkin or what. But I was going to bring him back. And then mother and father would love me again. We'd all go back to being a happy family again. Nobody in the world won't miss the losers. What's 10 losers to one really cool brother?
I drink the sample of moonshine that we were given last night.
It's very good, quite smooth.
Thank you for answering everything. I am sorry for your loss. And I will look over at Genius and Niblin and just say, how would you like to deal with this?
She should be arrested and, I guess, sent somewhere for her mind. I mean, we all suspected that she did something like that to survive, but it's hard waiting, actually hearing it.
Hecate, Tafina, do you agree with that assessment?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I will arrest her for murder and ask Captain to look after her while we await the arrival of emissaries from the capital to hopefully send her to a hospital or sanitarium where she can get some help.
And when you slap the cuffs on her, her wrists are so small they can barely fit in, and then you can see up her arms. She was carving the symbols indicated in the ritual onto her own skin.
How many does she have on her?
You wouldn't know unless you, like, disrobed her. But you can kind of see this
Yeah,
going
not gonna
up.
do that.
Yeah, obviously you're not going to do that. But, you can see, it's almost like a sleeve tattoo. And you can just suspect it keeps going up and up.
Has she been cleaned up? Does she need to be cleaned up at all? Because Heke will do that search if she needs to.
Wait, didn't she kill 6 people?
Well, I'm wondering if she's killed more. Like maybe she already tried this ritual once. Maybe because if she needs 10, maybe she's at like 16.
You don't get the sense of that just given the timeline.
Okay.
Just because it's been a few months and there were like 5 previous market murders, and then this one would have been the 6th from previous information you had gathered. But yeah, she's been filthy this whole time. Like, she's basically wearing like very thin kind of rags at this point. She's been living rough for a while, just like a lot of the refugees living in the tent city.
All right, so we're going to clean her up, take her back to the church if we have to, and then, because Heke wants to know just, how far these runes go now as well. And Heke will be there helping her bathe and blah, 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 so she can get a closer look at the runes and how far they go, etc., etc. What do I see?
Okay, you and like a couple other female soldiers just sort of, she really resists sort of like any sort of physical contact. But I want to say, just for the speed of things, you gently encourage her to like just
I'm not gonna
off.
I'm not gonna rip the clothes off her back. Yeah, no, I'm just like, hey, we need to clean you up, get you changed. Come on, let's do this. It's really not healthy for you. Blah blah blah. Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that to her.
And I'm gonna say you blah 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 blah. Procure some new clothes for her as well. And it is like a full. These scars are like a full sleeve up and down her arms and her legs.
Okay.
She was also like filthy, just absolutely filthy as well. Just from like she was sleeping in a mud-filled tent.
Yeah. Okay. Once we get her all cleaned up and we'll get her back to the barracks, lock her up, unfortunately, and I'll report that I don't know what the runes mean specifically in terms of, is it 1 rune per death? But if that's the case, then I'll tell Arcadia, her arms and legs are just like covered in these runes.
They match like these runes and the symbols that are on the tablet, and the tablet specifically says you should carve these into your skin as a part of the ritual. But you also get the sense, because you're trained in medicine, that she's been kind of doing it bit by bit for a while. But as she got like up to 6, she was getting closer and closer to it, so she was like completing it. Sort of thing.
Okay, so she hasn't really done more than the 6.
Yeah, that's what you're getting.
Cool. That's kind of what I wanted to try and figure out.
Why do you have a teardrop tattoo?
Oh.
Why do you have a teardrop tattoo?
Heke, do you think this ritual is real?
Arcadia, at this point, we really can't discount anything. She certainly believes it real, and there's enough power behind it to, at the very least, influence her, if not outright control her.
That is a terrible thought, but it is probably correct.
We need to look into this. This can't go on. Like, Hecate is just like, this is in the front of the mother, this is in the front of the father, and to, like, the natural order of things. We need to figure this out. We need to put an end to it.
And on that, we will end the stream. I would like to thank everyone for watching. I would like to thank ZLT and Marbanyan and DMC Crimson for chatting away today, along with Point Click Shove as well. And then I would also like to thank our lurkers. Commander Rude, Furcan 192835, Giza, Jingle the Fool, check out his channel, along with Banyan. They're part of our Heroes Wanted collective of shows. Megaxa, Party Wipe Games, and Zane Kyber. And with that, let's go raid DM Quicksilver. He's another one of our collective of shows, so let's give him a little surprise. Starting raid in... in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Yo, that was bomb.
That was good.